Who do you want to see taking that last shot in San Antonio? Who needs to have the ball in their hands? Let's break it down. First and foremost, when we're looking at closing out games, we really only have two options because so many of our guys are skilled, but yet also inexperienced. So when we look at our most skilled players, along with our most veteran, most poised players, the guys that should be closing out the game, it's either Fox or Wemby. We need to be very, very honest about that. As much as I love Steph Castle, as much as I love Dylan Harper, they're still too inexperienced to truly understand what those late fourth quarter minutes mean at this stage in their career. Are they going to understand it sooner rather than later? Absolutely. But as of right now, I want a more polished De'Aaron Fox. I want a more talented Wembanyama with the ball in their hands. Period. And of course, we know that De'Aaron Fox is former clutch player of the year. Back in 22-23 with the Sacramento Kings, he was scoring late fourth quarter buckets at an incredible pace, and he deserved to be clutch player of the year. He was scoring above and beyond what other people were doing in late closeout minutes. But when we look at the way he closed out games that season versus the way he's closing out games now, it's a pretty night and day difference. When we look at the way he was closing out games in 22-23 for the Kings, he was scoring on about 10% assisted buckets, meaning 90% of the time he was taking 3, 4, 5 dribbles in late game situations, and that's how he was expected to close out games. It was all on his shoulders, not only the creation, but the finishing aspects as well. And that 10% was pretty much the same whether you were looking at a 3-foot shot or a 16-foot shot for De'Aaron Fox. So he was creating opportunities in the paint as well as being expected to finish around the rim and in mid-range late game situations, which is a lot to put on one player's shoulders. But that was De'Aaron Fox for the Sacramento Kings. We're focused on De'Aaron Fox for the San Antonio Spurs. What does that look like here in San Antonio? And what we're seeing in San Antonio is a little bit different. What we're seeing is a lot of his opportunities are coming from assists. Almost 42% are coming from assists as opposed to about 10% in Sacramento, meaning that he's off ball a lot of times with these late game situations. He's only being asked to take 1, 2 dribbles in the creation process, not necessarily 3, 4, 5, and then go hoist your own shot. And you may be asking yourself, hey, Rob, where are you going with this? This is a lot of numbers, and a lot of it doesn't really mean a whole lot. But what I'm taking from these numbers is that De'Aaron Fox is looking to get to the rim in these late game situations less and less. When you look at the percentage of 2 feet in the paint in Sacramento versus 2 feet in the paint now, it's night and day difference. And my suggestion for this is we close out by committee. And I know that this has always really been the Spurs way. We've never been an isolation closeout team. We've never been a team that says, hey, pass me the ball and let me go to work and everyone just watches. No, we're usually looking to go from a good shot to a great shot, even in those late game situations. But I think that this team and the way that this roster is constructed really leans towards a closeout by committee process. So should De'Aaron Fox be closing out games? Yes and no. Obviously, us as Spurs fans, we know that the best shot within the Spurs offense is Wembanyama 2 feet in the paint, taking a shot right at the rim. That's about a 75-76% shot right now when you look at Wembanyama within 5 feet. And that's what we're looking at when we look at a late game lob situation. So I think when we close out by committee, it's De'Aaron Fox collapsing the defense, really getting into the heart of the defense, creating that opportunity, and then it's Wemby finishing that opportunity. And I think you saw the foundation for that a couple of games ago when we played Golden State. Obviously, the end result was a De'Aaron Fox sidestep long 2-pointer that didn't go in, and we weren't happy about it. But at the same time, you saw the potential read for a lob to Wemby right there. So I think in the future, De'Aaron Fox is going to know that, hey, me taking that shot isn't the best opportunity, but me creating that opportunity for Wemby, that's where the gold is. And in the future, I really think that it's going to be Harper creating that opportunity for Wemby. But that might be 2, 3, 4 years down the line. I'm not entirely sure. But right now, it's got to be Fox creating that opportunity for Wemby and then Wemby finishing. And in all honesty, the Spurs, we've never been an isolation closeout team. We're not somebody that passes the ball and relies on one person to close out the game for us. Why would we start now?